The Miami Heat, a team that just a few months ago I was claiming should blow it up, should look to move on for Bam Adebayo, try and get some assets for Tyler Herro, and this team is third in the Eastern Conference on a 7-game winning streak with a top 15 offense and the second best defense in the entire league. This team has proven me entirely wrong so far. Frankly, we have to dive into why, and I think so far the biggest reason has to be Norman Powell, who is playing at a all-star to possibly all-NBA caliber level. The Miami Heat for years have been missing guard play, and obviously, well, should have Tyler Herro, of course, but it was the idea that that was all you really had offensively. But now you have a guard like Powell who can just pull up for three like this and force defenses to have to play differently than they've ever really had in their recent time, right? Because Powell is able to play going downhill, he's able to play going for the three ball, and we're going to look at some of his clips now to break down what he brings that this team has been desperately looking for at least the last 2 to 3 years. Like that pull-up three ability. They have not had that in forever in terms of a guard who's all around scoring, right? Duncan Robinson obviously could shoot, but this is just different. Like even when you just look at the gather here, right? Just immediately goes back out to three. The guy has to respect it, right? Gets lost a little and gets the floater up to bank it in. Powell is bringing just different levels of scoring that this team hasn't had, and since getting Tyler Herro back has been looking even better. I think that this team is going to gel. Again, their offense isn't necessarily the highest ranked, about middle of the pack, but still, I think that Powell has been a massive engine for this team because, again, what this Heat team has always struggled with was their defense is going to be good. That was never the problem. It was a question of could their offense actually keep up well enough that defense even matters. And with Norman Powell averaging about 25 a game, yes, this offense has been more than good enough to sustain what they're doing on the defensive end. Because again, now you're just going to get shots like this up. And again, these are just looks that this Heat team never really had before outside of Tyler Herro in recent years. And again, I love here he goes downhill. And we're going to break this one down just a little bit, right? The craftiness. Maxey basically, first of all, this is on Tyrese Maxey. He basically gives up the lane. Drummond comes over, closes it out the best he can. Powell does a great job waiting and then using that left hand to get the push shot in. And again, what this team has been able to do on the consistent night in, night out has been because of Norman Powell. If that scoring punch isn't there, this team would not be what they are. But Norman Powell has been elite for this team. This dude's an all-star, by the way. Like, as of right now, on November 28th, just after Thanksgiving, this dude's an all-star. And I don't even think it's a question, quite frankly. The dude's averaging 25 on the third, best team record-wise in the East on a 7 to 8 game winning streak. And he's a major reason why. And now we're going to get into the next big topic of conversation, which honestly I also think has been not discussed enough, is Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaime Jaquez is leading a Heat bench that is third in the NBA in bench points per game. And I mean, the dude's averaging almost 40% of their points with a career high 16, 5, and 3. This guy has been really, really good because I think he's made the game much easier on himself. I love this look, right? Going through the contact with Dean Wade to just go and get his own and the and one. Just continues to attack downhill. Gets an actually decent pass out to Wiggins and immediately just makes himself available again off of this move, right? He bounces off, Mobley loses track, goes right back in, stays in the action. And I think it's that grit and grind that this team plays with that is going to keep them in this season, right? Because again, now that you have a top 3 bench scoring in the entire league, and you have a dude averaging almost 20 coming off your bench, that's going to help you big time. Because again, for years, this team's struggle has been offense, offense, offense. But Jaime has been putting his head down and playing aggressive. Now, the 3-ball, we don't want to talk about that. We're just going to keep it real. I love that he is playing to his strengths. Even just look here, right? Like, this is clutch time, right? You have Wiggins, you got Ware. Powell's even here, mind you, right? And he goes, no, I can get us to where we need to go. Gets the float up and then can get the game time bucket. And again, Jaime just continues to attack downhill, this time actually on Hunter, and just gets a little piece of that midi. What he's been able to do at the rim and going downhill and creating pressure that way, on top of what Norman Powell creates outside on the perimeter, and then with Tyler Herro returning, I think that this team is finding a way to get it done at all the levels. which is extremely important for a team that, again, has been offensively challenged for years, quite frankly, in terms of, consistent night in, night out production. And I think that what he's been able to bring to this team has been really, really good. And he's also stepped up to become, a good second to third playmaker on a given night, right? Getting you 5 to 6 assists as well. And then finally, we're going to talk about Bam Adebayo, a mainstay of this team, arguably their best player, their identity now for the last however many years. And let's get right into it. And then, of course, this team is second in defensive rating, and Bam is the big reason for that, right? Even here, just getting the block on Vooch, we know his ability to switch basically 1 through 5, right? A top 5 defender in the league to top 10, depending on who you ask. Although at times, right, the offense could be a little challenging. I think defensively, he's always in the game, right? That's an incredible block on Julian Phillips, who ends up forcing the turnover, right, because he loses the ball. And Bam always being involved is huge. Like, that's just high effort, right? He could have very easily just gone, okay, it's what it is. We're down 6. No. Bam is always going to give his all. And again, for this team that has been much more transition reliant, right, is the fastest team in the league, just at least by pace. What this team has been able to do is nothing short of sensational. And I think that Bam Adebayo defensively helping to anchor this team, right? Even when he's missed games, this team has still looked solid defensively, but they've had to rely a lot more on that offensive flow. But now that Bam is back, he's able to sort of get into his stance and really play it up, right? Waits for B-pods to go over, immediately just stands straight up, doesn't let him go nowhere. Rotates around, right? And again, I think this is just where Bam does a great job, always staying involved on the defensive end. Although, again, the rebounding could be a little bit better, if we're being honest. But either way, like, just look at the way he stays on Quentin Post and gets a piece, right? It's just that footing that Bam has, and just the fact that this team plays much more with their foot on the gas. It covers up more of the offensive deficiencies this team, I feel like, would normally have if they played at the pace they usually do, which is a slower pace, and things get a little rough, and it looks a little ugly. But no. Bam plays quick basketball. They play quick basketball. They move it quick, and they don't force a problem, right? And that's a great block on Gafford from behind, because Bam is always involved. This team, what he's doing defensively is a major reason this team even works, because, again, those transition moments are what bring this team to the next level. I'm going to show you guys right here their transition stats. And again, players like Bam, Jaime, Kel'el Ware, Davion Mitchell, right? Those guys are big reasons that this team defensively are what they are and can get out into transition and really get things flowing. But now let's talk about what I think about the Heat overall. I'm going to start off. I'm a man of my word. I was wrong about this Miami Heat team. I was, calling from the mountains for them to blow it up. And maybe, I don't know, if Pat Riley's up there cooking in his office, like, I've done it. Everyone's value is at its absolute peak. Now we will trade everyone. I doubt that, right? They're third in the East. The East is very winnable. Again, the injuries. I mean, Giannis is hurt. The Bucks have basically fell out of I believe, the play-in now. The Sixers are still every other day. Someone's missing. This East conference is very injured. Like, this Heat team could realistically make the conference finals the way that they're playing. Would I bet on it? Not necessarily, but would I also be like, there's no chance? No, I would not say that. I definitely think this team has a legitimate chance to make the conference finals. And I think part of that, again, their transition play has been really good. The defense is still incredible. But they're finally having a high volume score consistently play night in and night out. Because I know what you're saying, but Esther, Jimmy averaged a lot. Yes, but Heat fans will tell you this. That was if Jimmy decided to take more than 8 shots that night. Because there will be nights where Jimmy wanted to put up 10 on 4 shots, get you like 2-3 free throws, and be like, I'm cool. No, Norman Powell is averaging 25. Right? Like, that is going to help you big time. You have Tyler Herro back now to give you another scoring punch from the guard position. Jaime is leading, again, a top 2 to 3 bench scoring-wise in the entire NBA. These are winning, factors. And hey, I didn't know offensive coordinators were a thing in the NBA like that, and I want to be coached. So shout out to that guy, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Shout out to the Heat, and shout out to that guy, because maybe Amster Knows Hoops got to cook something up. But in all seriousness, I genuinely have to apologize, at least right now, for this team, that at least for this year, y'all have proven me wrong. Like, I thought this team was going to be fluttering in and out. I thought without Jimmy it wasn't going to look that good. And then they snagged Norman Powell like a thief in the night. And quite frankly, this team looks like they're at least contending for coming out of the East. I want to make something very abundantly clear right now. Assuming the Nuggets or the Thunder or the Rockets are all healthy, I take them smacking the Miami Heat. But they could make the finals, which is really impressive. So again, guys, let me know what you guys think about this Heat team. As always, guys, this was Mr. Knows Hoops. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, guys, check the playback. Join the Discord. We talk in there all the time. We're streaming games. This was Mr. Knows Hoops. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.